Well, nobody should get discouraged. Where there's a will, there's a way. I was asked, I don't know, maybe a month ago, when was our caucus, or caucuses? When was it PPP?
April 6th.
April 6th? I was asked the evening of April 6th, March 6th, which is what, 6 weeks ago?
6 or 7.
To consider being state Republican Party chair. And I was just taken aback by that request. I never anticipated it. I thought about this for 6 weeks. I prayed about it. I've talked to my wife about it. I've talked to other people about it. And since then, I can remember maybe 7 or 8 people asking me to do such a thing. If you got somebody else, or if you know somebody else who wants to be state chairman, that will represent the freedom movement and the liberty movement, as we know as Dr. Paul, tell them to come forward. It's not about power. It's not about money. It's about honesty and transparency. Tonight you saw me ask how much money we got last week, where it is, how's it been spent. Collected tonight to reimburse Mr. Brokaw. It's going to the next meeting. That's the way it should be at all levels of this party. Okay? The Alaskan Republican Party of Alaska is eating up the will of the people. It's plain and simple. And it will not let freedom reign. I'm all about freedom, and I'm all about liberty. Some of you have heard me say this before. I've been in this fight since 1964. I was 19 years old, and I campaigned for Barry Goldwater in Southern California, in a Democrat district. That's a long time ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But I stuck it out, and it got a few votes in our district. And I had to challenge a few votes at the voting booth, or the voting counting process, as maybe not being proper votes. And they didn't like that. And as we go forward in this fight, the Alaska State Republican Party as it exists today doesn't like us. We either have a unity of who we're going to vote for and who we're going to represent, and we have to be united on that, or we're going to all hang separately. You've heard that before. That's just the way that it is. They don't want us here. They want us to go away. We're not going away.
Yeah.
They will have to deal with us again, whether we win or whether we lose. I'm not in it to lose. I don't fight fights to lose. The next generation has taken the reins and vision for liberty and freedom. And they want freedom and liberty to ring again. And those of you who are in this room want that to happen. I'm a Republican. I have been since 1966 when I was 21 years old. But I have only once voted for the party establishment candidate. Once. And I realized that I'd been bent over, and I didn't do it again. I'm committed to principle. I may be naive, but I'm committed to principle. You're either with us or you're against us. You're either for Dr. Paul or you're against Dr. Paul and what he stands for. I'm for a more constitutional challenge and conservative voice in the GOP. I want to make sure Ron Paul delegates have a seat at the table are never again told to sit at the back of the bus. Let me put it another way. There's a great Virginian, an American that we all know. His name was Patrick Henry. He said, I don't know what course you're going to take, but for me, you can give me liberty or you can give me death. We're in it for the long haul or we're not. And if you're not in it for the long haul and you're not in it committed to Dr. Ron Paul, you need to stop wasting your time and participating in these meetings. Patrick Henry, slavery was worse than that. And we're all slaves today on the same plantation. And we need to get out. And we've got the guy to do it. And his name is Ron Paul. I want to read you a little bit of a speech that some of you may have heard by Judge Andrew Napolitano. He's one of my heroes. You may not like him. I do. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I'm surprised he's lasted as long as he has at Fox News. As you all know, he's not there anymore. Here's a speech that he gave. Some of you may have heard it his last day on the show. What if both parties love war because the public is more docile during war and permits higher taxes and more federal deficit of freedom from individuals and power from the states? What if none of these recent wars has made us freer or safer, just poorer? What if Congress bribed the states with cash in return for their enacting legislation that Congress likes, but cannot lawfully enact? What if Congress went to all states in the Union and offered them cash to repave their interstate highways if the states only lowered their speed limits? What if the states took that deal? What if the Supreme Court approved this bribery and then Congress did it again and again? What if this bribery was a way for Congress to get around a few constitutional limitations that Congress acknowledges? What if Congress believes that it can spend tax dollars on anything it pleases and tie any strings to it that it wants to that spending? What if Congress uses its taxing power and spending power to regulate anything that moves, taxing and spending power to regulate whatever it wants to control, whether authorized by the Constitution or not? What if anyone, other than members of Congress, offered state legislatures cash in return for favorable legislation? What if Congress wrote laws that let it break laws that ordinary people like you and I would be prosecuted if we broke? What if the Declaration of Independence says that the government derives its powers from the consent of the governed? Or what if the government claims to derive powers from other sources that it will not name because it can't name them? It just doesn't. What if we never give the government the power to spy on us, or to print worthless cash, or to kill in our names? And some candidates want to do that in pro-life, which makes no sense to me. Or to force us to buy health insurance or waste our money on such things, and tell us that exercise is good for us and sugar is bad. What if we never gave the government the power to bribe the poor with welfare and the middle class, with tax breaks or rich with bailouts of the states with cash? What if we don't consent to what has become the government? What if the Constitution has been tactically amended by the consent of both political parties, whereby instead of ratifying amendments, all three branches of the government merely look the other way when the government violates the Constitution? What if the president, whoever he may be, cannot constitutionally bomb whatever country he wants? What if the Congress cannot constitutionally exempt its members from the laws that govern the rest of us? They don't, by the way, as you all know, they don't contribute to Social Security. What if the courts cannot constitutionally invent a right to kill babies in the womb? What if the federal government is out of control, no matter which party controls it? What if there's only harmony on Capitol Hill when government is growing and personal liberty is shrinking? What if the presidential race this fall will not be between good and evil, between right and left, between free markets and central planning, or even between constitutional government and big government, but only about how much bigger government can get? What if enough was enough? What do we do about it? Well, when kinetic power emotional, the power of hope, the power of liberation, the power of anger and system that's turned upside down, the power of liberation, and yes, the ultimate emancipating power of freedom, is loosened. The greatest threat to American freedom comes not from foreign governments, but from our own government. Amen. That's the threat to our freedom. We have become a nation of regulations and licenses and permits, fines, punishment, intimidation. A remorseless, uncaring bureaucrat. Bob Dylan once said and sang in 1971, "We're one big prison yard." Your very body your existence, your own life, as you know it. If Obamacare stands, we have no freedom. It has to be repealed. Now, if anybody thinks that Mr. Romney, or Mr. Santorum, or Mr. Gingrich, or anybody else other than Ron Paul is going to lead the lead to repeal that, they got another thing coming. We have heard so many promises for so many years that they're meaningless. My wife and I got rid of our TV. Well, excuse me, we canceled our TV subscription. We watch old movies. We watch old movies and reruns like Gunsmoke. Remember that? The good guy always won. He was always on the right side. We watch Paladin. We watch Perry Mason. America is watching TV, and the whole world is watching America. What we need is an army of citizens that understand the Constitution. And if they don't understand it, they're willing to learn about it. We need citizens motivated and committed to restore liberty in America. We need men like Ron and Rand Paul at every level of our government. And we need them to restore liberty in America and to breathe new life, new vibrancy into a nation that's on life support. I don't know if we can make it another 4 years. But I've been saying that for some time. By the grace of God, we have. We will not return our nation's vitality with lawyers and lobbyists. We will not prescribe the cures of our ailments by opportunistic politicians peddling the latest edition of what will it take to buy my vote or get me reelected. There's two things that politicians absolutely have to have, and they absolutely want. They have to have votes, and they have to have money. Right now, as a Ron Paul delegation, we need everybody that can vote for the right person at the right time. And then we'll go after the money. I don't know if there's ever been an audit of the Alaska Republican Party that's been visual, transparent, and honest. There's a lot of money sitting someplace and nobody knows where it is. We simply will not be able to accomplish this without commitment of those that are in this room and have had to leave. America is on the brink of flatlining.
It's true.
Which logically leads to one question. Is there a doctor in the house? As a matter of fact, there is, and we want our doctor in the White House. Now, if you want me to run for state chairman, I'm happy to do it. If you have somebody else you want, bring them forward, and if that's the person, then that's the person. But if you want me, I need your encouragement, I need your support, I need emotional support. Thank you. That was very kind. Thank you very much. I need your support. This is not a one-man job. It's just not. And right now it is, and it's become a dictatorship. We need to drain the swamp. Thank you, Nancy Pelosi. That's one thing she said that was probably true. We need to drain the swamp. Period. And we can't do that if we don't win. We're going to more strategy Wednesday. But if I'm your guy, I need you to tell me that, so I don't embarrass myself, my wife, and the Ron Paul delegates at that convention. So I'm willing to go all the way with you if you're willing to go all the way with me. Thank you very much.